Love Island USA's Amaya and Bryan are going their separate ways. Only a month after their Season 7 win found them splitting the $100,000 prize. Amaya announced the update on her Instagram story August 27th, telling fans bluntly, "Bryan and I are no longer together." After leaving the villa, it became very clear that we were on two different journeys.
We just prioritize our relationship and we're kind of like tunnel vision with it, you know? Like, I'm very confident in our connection and I feel like you are too.
Yeah, the comfortability is definitely there and we're just growing.
Yeah.
The couple might have been all smiles at the pre-taped reunion, but speculation swirled hours before the premiere dropped over their relationship status. After eagle-eyed fans caught wind, they unfollowed each other on the gram. Amaya now revealing what she learned after cameras quit rolling on their romance, dropping a cryptic turn of phrase, "You don't have to drink the whole sea to know it's salty," adding, "Our visions didn't align and relationships are supposed to be a team sport." Despite moving on from the Peacock series separately, Amaya insisting, "All love here and I truly wish him the best."
Just when we thought Love Island had delivered the perfect happily ever after, reality came knocking, with the kind of plot twist that would make soap opera writers weep with envy. Bryan and Amaya's relationship unraveled faster than a cheap sweater, and the details that emerged, absolutely unhinged. Now, before you think this is just another predictable reality show breakup, let me stop you right there. What I'm about to unpack involves suspiciously timed ex-girlfriend revelations, TikTok comment confessions that hit harder than a therapy session, and enough contradictions to fuel conspiracy theories for months. Here's what makes this different from every other Love Island split: the sheer mathematical impossibility of the timeline. We're talking about someone who went from defending their relationship on camera to ending it and partying in Miami within the same week. Either this man processes emotions at superhuman speed, or there's a much darker story brewing beneath the surface. The real kicker? While everyone was analyzing club videos and Instagram unfollows, the most damning evidence was hiding in plain sight. Amaya's strategic truth-telling and TikTok comments revealed a level of emotional manipulation that would honestly make relationship therapists take notes. So settle in, because we're about to examine how America's sweethearts became a cautionary tale about reality TV fame, and why Amaya's parting shot about not needing to drink the whole sea to know it's salty was the most elegant takedown we could have ever wanted. Amaya and Bryan weren't just Love Island winners. They were the couple that restored faith in reality TV romance. The first Latino winners in show history, representing everything fans wanted to see: genuine connection, cultural authenticity, and a love story that felt earned after Amaya's brutal journey through the villa. Then August 27th happened, just 1 month after their victory, and weeks after sitting together at the reunion looking blissfully happy, Amaya announced they were no longer together. Her reason? They were on two different journeys, with misaligned visions. The whiplash was immediate. Here were two people who had just defended their relationship on national television, with Bryan discussing meeting Amaya's parents, and both of them emphasizing how healthy and great things were between them. The reunion was filmed August 12th. Their breakup was announced August 27th. That's 15 days from public declaration of love to complete relationship termination. But here's where the story takes a sharp left turn into dysfunction territory. Instead of the typical post-breakup silence, Amaya took to TikTok comments with revelations that recontextualized everything. In response to a fan's video about Bryan's club behavior, she wrote,
"Okay, so Maya just left this comment on my video, and we're kind of finding out now why they broke up, or why he broke up with Amaya." She said, "Imagine being broken up with just to come on TikTok a couple hours later, already in distraught 2 hours later, doing the exact same things you told him would hurt your feelings."
Wait, back up. She was broken up with, and Bryan was in Miami hours later? The timeline here defies basic human emotional processing. We're talking about someone who went from ending a nationally televised relationship to club appearances with suspicious timing that would make anyone with functioning pattern recognition raise an eyebrow. The mathematical impossibility of emotional whiplash this severe suggests premeditation. But premeditation of what exactly? That's where this story gets truly complex. Enter Nicole Andrea, stage right, with timing so perfect, it borders on performance art. This woman, claiming to be Bryan's ex from 2021, decided that late August 2025 was the ideal moment to grant the Shade Room an exclusive interview about her chemistry with our freshly single Love Island winner. Nicole's statement hit social media like a guided missile. "Bryan and I dated in 2021, and we had a lot of chemistry. We have seen each other a few times since he's come home from the villa." She even provided videos from August 17th, claiming they still share a ton of chemistry, and that rekindling in the future may be in the cards. Now, I don't know about you, but if my ex from 3 years ago suddenly became famous, I think I'd have enough self-respect to keep my thoughts to myself, rather than provide unsolicited commentary to gossip blogs about our potential romantic future. The coordination required for this level of public intervention suggests motivations beyond casual observation. Bryan's response was swift and aggressive. He denied Nicole was his ex-girlfriend, calling her another old coworker/friend, and dismissing the entire situation as clout chasing. He insisted the video was from the Italian festival in Boston with mutual friends present.
Bryan is saying that this is an old video that Nicole is now reposting. He is wearing this t-shirt that he posted on August 21st, so I believe that to be a lie. Don't think that this is an old video. You're quite literally wearing the same exact outfit in this photo that you posted on the 21st that you are in the video.
Here's where the fact-checking becomes crucial. Either Nicole fabricated an entire relationship and provided false statements to a major gossip outlet, which could have serious legal implications, or Bryan is being less than truthful about his relationship history. Given the Shade Room's reputation and legal standards for reporting quotes, the idea that they would publish completely fabricated statements seems unlikely. But here's what's really fascinating. The timing of Nicole's emergence coinciding perfectly with Bryan and Amaya's relationship troubles. Whether she's a real ex or not, her public statements created a narrative that positioned Bryan as someone with romantic options beyond his current relationship. That's either remarkably coincidental or remarkably calculated. While everyone was debating Nicole's authenticity, Amaya was doing her best to get her truth out through TikTok comments. Her most devastating comment read, "After meeting his mom, after telling I was in love with him, after being intimate, the only reason why I'm speaking out is because I'm tired of holding my tongue. I'm hurt." These weren't random emotional outbursts. These were calculated revelations that painted a picture of psychological manipulation that extends far beyond typical relationship drama. According to Amaya's timeline, Bryan waited until after she had met his family, declared her love, and become physically intimate before ending things and immediately reverting to behaviors that had caused previous conflicts. We're talking about someone who maintained emotional performances through major relationship milestones, then dismantled everything while immediately engaging in the exact behaviors that had been problematic. That's not impulsive, that's strategic emotional warfare. What makes Amaya's approach so brilliant is the restraint. She could have gone nuclear, could have exposed private conversations, could have tried to destroy Bryan's reputation. Instead, she provided just enough context for people to understand what happened without appearing vindictive or unstable. The timing of her revelations was equally strategic. By waiting until people were already questioning the relationship dynamics, she ensured her truth landed with maximum impact and minimum backlash. But the real bombshell was still coming, and it would recontextualize everything we thought we knew about their relationship. Let's examine that August 12th reunion with fresh eyes, because knowing what we know now, watching Bryan and Amaya defend their relationship feels like watching a psychological thriller in reverse. Bryan addressed the July cheating allegations during the reunion, calling his club behavior a lapse in judgment.
Bryan, there was a video that sparked a lot of rumors about you cheating, partying with other girls. We know the internet had a lot of opinions, but walk us through what's been going on.
They're trying to just throw any hate my way, and within the cheating video, the hosting, I got paid to be there. I used to bartend back in the day at a lapse of judgment, and we've talked about it, and yeah.
The lapse in judgment was what?
Pouring shots around, giving the crowd shots and stuff like that. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Amaya sat beside him saying,
Yeah, we definitely spoke about it, and I'm also like not a woman that would be with someone who doesn't respect me. So if I'm with him and still with him, it's clearly because the relationship dynamic is healthy and great.
The dramatic irony is devastating. Amaya is literally defending their relationship and explaining why she wouldn't tolerate disrespect, while planning to announce their breakup 15 days later. Either she's an Oscar-worthy actress, or something catastrophic happened between August 12th and August 27th. But here's what's really disturbing about the reunion context. The original cheating allegations Bryan was addressing weren't even the final straw. Those concerned a TikToker named Morgan, who claimed she saw Bryan with another woman at a club, bringing her back to his Airbnb room. Bryan had responded to those allegations by posting a video with Amaya, essentially saying, "We're fine." Yet, according to Amaya's later revelations, there were ongoing conversations about behaviors that hurt her feelings, behaviors that Bryan then returned to immediately after ending their relationship. This suggests that during the reunion, both of them were aware of ongoing issues that weren't being addressed publicly. The psychology here is fascinating because it reveals the performance aspect of reality TV relationships. Even when couples are struggling privately, they're expected to maintain a united front publicly. The pressure to protect the brand, the show, and their joint opportunities can keep people in situations they might otherwise leave. But what makes this particularly complex is the question of whether Bryan was performing his commitment during the reunion, or whether Amaya was performing her satisfaction with their dynamic. The truth might be that both were performing, for different reasons. The internet's response to this breakup revealed something fascinating about how we consume reality TV relationships. Within hours of the official announcement, social media transformed into a full-scale investigation unit that would make actual detectives impressed. Before any official breakup statement, eagle-eyed fans had already identified the warning signs. They tracked Amaya's TikTok reposts, which included videos captioned "How it feels when you know you have to leave him alone," and "When I finally pick myself back up and never let my walls down like that again." The fact that people were monitoring her social media behavior for relationship clues is both impressive and deeply concerning. What's most interesting about the fan reaction is how quickly public opinion shifted once they had permission to be skeptical. Suddenly, every sweet moment became performative, every public appearance became damage control, and every joint interview became evidence of a relationship that was never authentic. Comments started appearing like, "We knew this was coming, and he was obviously using her for clout." But here's the thing. If everyone supposedly knew, why was the breakup such a shock? The truth is that people want to believe in these relationships while they're happening, but they're almost relieved when they fall apart because it confirms their cynicism about reality TV romance. The speed of this narrative rewriting is genuinely impressive. Bryan went from being America's sweetheart to being labeled a manipulative clout chaser in approximately 24 hours. Whether that assessment is fair or not, the velocity of public opinion change shows how precarious reality TV fame really is. But what's most disturbing about the fan response is how quickly people started reaching out to Bryan's family and friends, demanding statements and explanations.
It's gotten brought to my attention that friends and people that just know me are getting contacted to see if rumors are true and asking for statements and everything. And I'm here to tell y'all that all the rumors and narratives y'all running with aren't true. We're already going through a difficult situation. As y'all know, breakups aren't easy. And I've stayed quiet just because mentally I'm not there. And me and Amaya are already going through a difficult situation. She's waking up to a new story every day. I'm waking up to a new story every day. Our families are waking up to a new story every day that just simply aren't true. And at this point, it's adding unnecessary stress and problems to something that's already difficult. And I just want to say, please respect our privacy to a point. I know we're in the public eye, but please respect it to a certain point because these fake stories are getting out of hand. And this is honestly going to be the first and last time I address this.
The idea that viewers feel entitled to harass people's personal networks over relationship drama they've witnessed on television reveals something troubling about parasocial relationships and boundary violations. Now, here's where we need to have an honest conversation about something that's been bothering me since this whole situation unfolded. Because while Bryan's behavior was absolutely problematic, there's another layer to this story that we can't ignore. Amaya's pattern of falling hard and fast that we witnessed throughout the entire season. Let's be real about what we saw in that villa. Amaya consistently opened her heart at lightning speed, diving headfirst into connections before really knowing who these men were. Remember her journey with Ace. The intensity was immediate. Then with Zach, same energy, same vulnerability, same willingness to give everything before getting confirmation that it was reciprocated. And here's what made it even more heartbreaking. The male cast members noticed this pattern too, and they weren't kind about it. During that brutal standing on business challenge, multiple guys called her out for moving too fast, for calling people babe and mi amor before establishing deeper connections. They criticized her for crying when things didn't work out, essentially shaming her for having feelings. We all defended her then, and rightfully so, because their criticism felt cruel and unnecessary. Her vulnerability was genuine, her emotions were real, and watching grown men mock a woman for being open with her heart was genuinely infuriating. But then Bryan arrived during Casa Amor like a knight in shining armor. He defended her cultural expressions of affection, understood her communication style, and seemed to finally be the man who appreciated Amaya for exactly who she was. We all breathed a collective sigh of relief, thinking, finally, someone who gets her. Except now we're sitting here wondering if those other guys might have seen something we missed. Not that their cruelty was justified. It absolutely wasn't. But maybe they recognized a pattern that made them uncomfortable with her intensity. The question isn't whether Amaya deserved better treatment, because she absolutely did. The question is whether her pattern of falling deep and fast might have scared Bryan away, just like it seemed to overwhelm her previous connections. Look, I need to be clear about something. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being someone who loves deeply and quickly. Amaya's capacity for genuine emotion is beautiful, and the world needs more people who aren't afraid to be vulnerable. But the reality of modern dating, especially in high-pressure environments like Love Island, is that intensity can be overwhelming for people who aren't ready for it. Think about the timeline here. Amaya and Bryan were together for roughly 3 weeks in the villa. During that time, she met his family via video calls, told him she loved him, and became physically intimate. That's a lot of emotional investment in a very short period. especially for someone she was just getting to know. And here's what's really sad. Based on her TikTok revelations, Bryan waited until after all of these major milestones before ending things. That suggests he may have felt trapped by the intensity of her feelings, unable to communicate his discomfort, and ultimately chose the coward's way out by maintaining the performance until he could make a clean exit. The heartbreaking reality is that Amaya's biggest strength, her capacity for immediate, genuine love, might also be her biggest vulnerability in a world full of people who aren't ready for that level of authenticity. Here's what breaks my heart about this entire situation. Amaya is probably going to learn from this experience that she needs to guard her heart more carefully. She's going to become more cautious, more strategic, more protective of her emotions. And while that might save her from future heartbreak, it also means the world loses a little bit of her beautiful, unfiltered authenticity. The sad truth is that in today's dating landscape, especially with the added pressure of social media and public scrutiny, being genuinely vulnerable has become a liability. People are so afraid of being hurt or looking foolish that they've turned relationships into strategic games rather than genuine connections. Amaya represented something rare, someone who wasn't afraid to be real, to feel deeply, to love without reservation. But this experience with Bryan has probably taught her that such openness can be weaponized against her by people who aren't operating with the same level of authenticity. The really frustrating part is that Bryan had red flags from the beginning. The club behavior, the way he interacted with other women, the fact that multiple people seem to have different versions of his relationship history, these were all warning signs that someone more guarded might have noticed and heeded. But Amaya saw the best in him, believed in their connection, and trusted that his feelings were as genuine as hers. That's not naivety, that's hope. And the fact that her hope was disappointed says nothing about her character and everything about his. Why can't we live in a world where fairy tale love is possible? Where someone like Amaya can open her heart completely and have it cherished rather than exploited? The answer is that we can, but only with people who are equally committed to authenticity and emotional honesty. The lesson here isn't that Amaya needs to change who she is, the lesson is that she needs to be more careful about who she shares that beautiful heart with. And honestly, that shouldn't be a lesson anyone needs to learn, but here we are. So here's to Amaya Papaya. May this experience teach her discernment without dimming her light, caution without killing her capacity for love, and wisdom without sacrificing the beautiful authenticity that made us all fall in love with her in the first place.